Hey guys, it's Scott with scottieb Cards, and in this video, I want to look at the top 20 players in Major League Baseball and rank them on their long-term collectability. So Major League Baseball every year releases their top 20 players. If you're seeing my screen, you'll see those top 20 players down here. scottieb Cards did not pick those top 20 players. Those are the top 20 players heading into the baseball season, and that's how I'm ranking these players. Overall, they're all mostly players that are relevant in the hobby, and so that's really good to start off this list. But what we're gonna do is rank them from C to S tier. S tier being the best, A is really good, A minus is still good, B is a B, you get the idea, on if they'll be collected in the long run and if I would buy their cards, essentially. So to start out, we have a pitcher, Zack Wheeler. This is a tough one because Zack Wheeler is a pitcher. He announced he's gonna be retiring after 2027, maybe even after 2026 if there's a lockout and no 2027 season. We may see the last of Zack Wheeler next year. And while he's had a great career, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a pitcher. He does pitch for the Phillies though, which helps, but he started with the Mets. I think B minus is an appropriate place for Zack Wheeler. I don't know how his collectability will be in the long run. I think he'll have some collectability from Phillies fans because they're fantastic fans, the Philly fanatics, you get the idea. After that, we have Ketel Marte, and no offense to Mr. Marte, I'm putting him in C. He has a very high peak when he's on and he's playing great, but he's injured quite a bit. I don't know if he's injured right now, but when he does play, he's great, but he's not had like a Hall of Fame caliber career. And while he'll be collected by Diamondbacks fan, I think that might be it, right? So I think C, probably one of the lowest players on this particular list. After that is Juan Soto. Juan Soto, I am gonna put in the A tier. And that may surprise you, but Juan Soto is 26 years old, plays for one of the biggest franchises in baseball, and is one of the best players through their age 26 season that we've seen in a very, very, very long time. About 40 WAR already. I know he's had a bad year so far, but he has signs of him coming out of it. He's been looking really, really good lately. So Juan Soto, I think, will have value. I don't know how him having 4 different teams by the time he's age 26, that'll affect his value in the long run, but where he's with the Mets until he's 40-something years old and he's only 26 right now, I think that's pretty good. After that is Corey Seager, and I want to put Corey Seager high on this list, but realistically, ask yourself, who's going to want Corey Seager cards? He has a 2 World Series MVPs, which is really great. He also has like a 130 OPS plus for his career as a shortstop while playing good defense, but he's in his 30s now. I don't know if he should be in the B minus or the B tier. I don't think he's an A minus or A player. I don't think he'll have that much collectability. I'll put him B minus for now. That may be too harsh, but still, that's still good, right? They still have a lot of collectors after him, but I don't think he's going to have long-term major value like other players on this list. Next up is Chris Sale. I may be biased with Chris Sale, but I think he's punched his ticket to the Hall of Fame already. And before you like gawk at that and be like, oh, you're so biased because I have his cards and I collect him. It's one of those things where it's not just me that feels that way, but like even John Heyman posted a tweet where he thinks Chris Sale will be a Hall of Famer. And it's one of those things where he's almost to 2,600 strikeouts now. He's having a really great year this year after the Triple Crown last year. So Hall of Fame pitcher, he will be a Hall of Famer. I'm putting him as an A minus. In regards to collecting, could be lower because he's a pitcher, but he's one of the more collected pitchers of the era. So I say A minus. Next up is Acuna. And Acuna, if I'd made this video 3 weeks ago, it would have been an A minus, but I'm putting him as an A still. I still think Acuna is good. He's just good. He has 2 ACL surgeries, but he still has one of the better seasons we've seen in 50 years with his 40-70 season. I think Acuna is going to be collected. He is so exciting. Not many players can really match what he does with speed and power. We may have seen the end of his speed, but that might not be a terrible thing as he focuses solely on hitting. Next up, we have Paul Skeens. Now this is tough. A young pitcher. It's hard to rank old pitchers, but young pitchers, I'm putting Skeens as a B. And the reason for it is because I could see him going either way. He leads the National League, not just pitchers, but all players right now in B WAR with 4 B WAR, even though he has like a 4-6 record because the Pirates can't score runs with his 1.7 ERA. But either way, he is young, 23, I believe, and there's injury concern, there's regression concerns for pitchers, there's just overall collectability concerns. So I could see him up here really easily next to Chris Sale, but B right now for what he's accomplished and the concern of pitchers in the future. After that, we have Bobby Witt Jr. This is another player that could dance between A and A minus. If I'd have done this at the end of last year with the 10 WAR season, he had to be an easy A. So far this year, he's been more of an A minus player with the best defense in baseball, quite literally, him and Pete Crow Armstrong. But I'm still going to put him as an A. I still think he'll have collectability. I still think he'll be desired in the long run, and I think A is an appropriate place for him. Then we have Kyle Tucker. I'm sorry, I'm going to say B. I was going to say B minus, but I think B is the right place for Kyle Tucker. Reason for that is because he is on a potential Hall of Fame path, not a guaranteed Hall of Fame path. He's He's had a really great career. It is actually a place you can go called Fangraphs War Charts or War Graphs, one of the two, where you can compare where players are through a specific age. And he's still above some players like Paul Goldschmidt and Joey Votto, who are probably going to make the Hall of Fame. Their careers, Goldschmidt's still playing. We have to wait 5 years after retirement for Votto to be on the Hall of Fame ballot, but they'll both be there. So I think that's B with potential of an A minus, just because that he's still on that path. If he goes to the Yankees or if he signs an extension with the Cubs, I think he also could get bumped up to an A minus. Next up is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he's tough. I'm going to set him in B, but I'm going to try to talk myself into an A minus. I like Vlad. He's 26. He just signed with the Blue Jays. That will help his collectibility case, so I like that. He has not really turned it on yet this year. Not surprising. He's been good. He's been a plus player in regards to like OPS plus. I think he's like a 135 guy. He has less than 10 home runs so far this year. I'm going to say B for now, but I'm going to put him at the front of the B tier, so that way he is the next one to go up into A minus if he turns it on in the second half. I know that one half of baseball shouldn't determine where he's at, but right now, like, he's had a great career, but there's still no guarantee he's a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Fame lock. Being with the Blue Jays does help though. Next up is Bryce Harper. I'm going to put him at B. Just kidding. I hope I got you. Bryce Harper's going to the front of A tier. I don't think he deserves to be in the S tier yet, but I think the A tier is the appropriate place for Bryce Harper. Number 1 pick in the draft, number 1 prospect in baseball, comes out, takes the league by storm, some big postseason moments. So I think A is good for Harper. I think he needs to win a championship in Philadelphia to bump up to S tier. Surprisingly, his numbers like WAR and advanced metrics may not be as good as you expect for Bryce Harper. He has a couple like really outlier seasons where he won his 2 MVPs, and then everything else he's like a MVP 10 type of guy, right? Like that's good, but you wouldn't consider it like an inner circle Hall of Famer. But he still will have collectability in my opinion in baseball cards. Next up is Aaron Judge, and this may be biased to this year in the last few years, but I mean he's had 4 of the best offensive seasons we've seen from a right-handed hitter in the last ever. So I'm putting him in the S tier right now. But Aaron Judge, the big knock against him is the postseason play. Can he turn that around? Can he win a championship for the Yankees? The Yankees care about championships. But in regards to the regular season, easy S tier. And I think in collectability, even if he doesn't win a championship, he'll be an S tier player. Lifelong Yankee captain, great ball player, really great guy. That's a very easy pick for me. Then we have Turk Skubal, and I'm going to put him as a B minus. Reason for it, he's 28 or 29 years old right now. And while he's been very dominant, he just debuted later. And unless we change the Hall of Fame standards for what a starting pitcher looks like, I don't think he has a shot. Kind of like Zach Wheeler. And so if that's not the case, you can put him in B if the Hall of Fame standards change, or if he continues the next 4 years and stays healthy. That's my biggest concern with all pitchers is health, especially because he's pumping 100 to 103. He had a complete game where I think the last pitch of the game was like 103 miles an hour. That's just scary for me thinking about his UCL right now. So I'm going to put him as B minus, but I do think he could definitely go up depending on how things go for the rest of his career. After that, we have Gunnar Henderson. I'm going to put Gunnar Henderson in the A minus tier. That may not feel fair with Bobby Witt above him, but I just think Bobby Witt's ceiling is higher defensively and offensively. So pretty clear. And on top of that, the Royals have a brighter future than the Orioles. No offense to the Orioles fans. I'm really sorry. I'm a Rockies fan, so I get bad baseball and bad organizations. But you guys drafted really well and you have a lot of great young players. You could easily turn around next year if you just sign some pitching. But regardless, I still think Gunnar is great, and I think he'll be collected in the long run. I think he has a path to the Hall of Fame for sure, very early in his career. Then we have J Ram. What do you guys think? Where is J Ram? Is he an A player or is he an A minus player? I'm going to say he's at the very front of the A minus tier if I can move Chris Sale. And the reason for that is because while he is a guy who's been basically a top 5 MVP candidate every year for a decade, he plays for the Guardians, and for some reason that hasn't translated in the hobby. So while statistically I think he could be an A tier player, collectability, I don't know if that's going to be there. After that, we have Frederick Freeman. Frederick Freeman, I think, is an A-tier player, especially after this last postseason. First basemen generally don't have a ton of collectability. Maybe that's not a fair statement, but first base has been a weak position besides him, Goldschmidt, and a few others the last 5 or 10 years. But I do think he deserves an A-tier position, especially with that World Series for the Dodgers and the MVP and the walk-off grand slam. So many things you can point to. He has an outside chance at 3,000 hits. He'll play at a high level even as he ages, so I think he's a good one there. Then we have Ohtani, S tier. I'm going to put in the front of S tier. I think he's going to be the most collected player by far from this era. And whether you like Ohtani or don't like Ohtani as like a player, maybe you like the gambling stuff, if that's something you're caught up on. He'll have cards that are collected for a long time. His cards are going for crazy numbers this year. He came back from pitching this last week and he looked good. His velocity was good. His movement was good. A little bit amped up with no rehab starts where he was all over the place for a little bit. He actually pitches again this Sunday, so this video will come out after Sunday. So who knows how he did? You can tell me. But that is Shohei Ohtani. Then we have Jordan. Talk about a guy who at one time could have been an A, an A minus, but I think he's actually in the B tier for now. And that may be unfair, but I think he's in the B tier for now only because he still has injury issues and he has not performed this year, surprisingly. And maybe he's turned it around. Maybe we should go look at Jordan's page because I haven't looked for a few weeks, right? Let's go see. He's hitting 210. So no, he has not turned it around. He's still hurt. So I think that is a good place for Jordan Alvarez as of now. Hopefully he can become the hitter he is supposed to be. Then we have Mookie Betts. S tier, easy S tier. I'm just kidding. I think that S tier is reserved for Ohtani and Judge right now. I'll put him at the front with Bryce Harper for the A tier though. I think these 6 players right here will have long-term hobby relevance, especially outside of Judge and Ohtani. And lastly, there's not much to be said about Betts. 75 WAR right now. He's only 32. He's had issues where he lost a ton of weight before the season and he's lost a lot of power because of it, but he'll turn that around and he still has like 2.3, 2.5 WAR due to elite defensive shortstop. Like how random is that? He's elite defender at shortstop. But the last player on this list is Francisco Lindor, and I'm going to put him at the front of A minus tier. I think Lindor is really carving out a really great place in the hobby for him. He was on the Indians at the time. He got traded to the Mets. And when he went to the Mets, he had the worst year of his career that first year, and people did not like Lindor. They were mocking that contract, saying that the Mets lost the trade to the Guardians because you have Andres Jimenez and Ahmed Rosario, and maybe another Cookie Carrasco. I think he might have gone over there. I don't know where he went. Maybe he went to the Mets. Either way, those other guys were playing well, so everyone was saying that they lost the trade. The Mets won the trade. The Mets got a great franchise player, and especially with him and Soto now, I think that's great. But I don't know if he's enough to be in the A tier yet in regards to hobby relevance. But as he continues to be on the Mets, and heaven forbid he wins a World Series with Juan Soto in New York, his cards are going to be very sought after. But I do like this ranking, and I'm actually on the A minus tier. It's kind of an order of how I'd bump them up. Then down in the B tier, kind of in the same order. B minus tier is now in that order. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below who I put in the wrong location, if you think someone should be higher or lower, and I'll see you in the next video.